welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something I think, well, pretty much everyone grapples with.
Oh, yeah.
Why we sometimes make life so darn complicated.
Right. It's a common trap. And our source today, a piece called Simplify and Take Tiny Steps, is going to be our guide.
So, the mission for this deep dive.
Basically, to figure out why we spin these complex webs for ourselves and, maybe more importantly, how we can, choose a simpler approach instead.
And the source gives us a great word for this: convoluted. That's C-O-N-V-O-L-U-T-E-D. It means really complex, difficult to follow.
Full of twists and turns.
Exactly. Sounds familiar when you think about some life situations, right?
It definitely does. And there's this image in the source.
Yeah.
It just nails it.
The pizza one.
Yeah. Someone totally stressed out, scrolling through endless delivery apps.
While holding a frozen pizza.
Exactly. It just perfectly highlights the absurdity sometimes of how we overcomplicate even simple choices.
Okay, so let's get into it. The source asks this key question: how do we know when we're making life harder than it needs to be?
Which is a great question. How do we spot it?
What does the source suggest? How do we recognize that pattern in ourselves?
Well, what's interesting is the focus isn't on some external sign, but more on internal reflection. Pausing, really.
Pausing and doing what?
Asking ourselves, honestly, is all this extra effort, this complexity, actually making me happier? Or is it just adding stress?
That pizza example keeps coming back to me. It's so relatable.
It really is.
You spend ages trying to find the perfect takeaway, scrolling and comparing.
When really you just needed dinner like half an hour ago.
Yeah. The source even kind of jokes, maybe just roll a dice and move on.
And sometimes that's genuinely the best approach. Good enough is good enough. We get so bogged down.
We do. It reminds me, there's that Oscar Wilde quote mentioned.
Oh, right. I am so clever that sometimes I don't understand a single word of what I am saying.
Huh. Okay, how does that fit into making things too complicated? Seems a bit counterintuitive.
Well, if you think about it, it sort of suggests that our own cleverness, our drive to analyze everything or find the absolute best possible option can actually lead us down these rabbit holes of complexity. We outsmart ourselves, basically.
We make it so complicated we don't even understand our own plan anymore. Analysis paralysis.
Exactly. And the source touches on another angle, too, that sometimes we might overcomplicate things almost as a way to, avoid actually starting.
Or because the whole task just feels overwhelming.
Precisely. You build this incredibly complex plan, this huge mountain of a to-do list, and it's so daunting that you end up
doing nothing. Frozen.
Yeah. It raises that interesting point, doesn't it? Maybe sometimes it's subconscious. We create the complexity to avoid facing the actual challenge, maybe because we're afraid of, not doing it perfectly or failing.
That's a deep thought. But there's good news, right? The source offers a way out of this convoluted mess.
It does, and it's beautifully simple, really. Baby steps. Baby steps, just tiny, manageable actions. It emphasizes just starting, even with something incredibly small, just to build a little momentum.
Get the ball rolling, basically.
Exactly. And crucially, the source advises being gentle with ourselves during this. It's not about suddenly becoming hyper-efficient.
Right. It's okay if it takes time.
Yes. Take the time you need for those small steps. It's about making sustainable progress, not burning out by trying to leap over the mountain in one go.
Okay, so wrapping this up.
Yeah.
The main takeaway seems to be that, we often create this unnecessary complexity ourselves.
We definitely can.
But the key is, first, recognizing it maybe through that reflection we talked about, and second, shifting focus to those small, doable actions.
Those baby steps. It lets us move forward without getting paralyzed by the sheer scale of what we think we need to do.
It's about learning to spot when things are getting, convoluted, and then consciously choosing simplicity instead. Take the easy win sometimes.
Couldn't have said it better. It's about finding that simpler path.
All right, so here's a final thought for you, our listener. Take a moment and think. Is there one area in your life right now that feels maybe a bit more complicated than it really needs to be?
Just one area.
And if there is, what's just one tiny, maybe even ridiculously small step you could take, like right now, to simplify it just a little bit? Maybe it's as simple as deleting one app you hardly use.
A tiny step.
Give it some thought. Thanks for diving deep with us today.